Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Drop Frames. Rami finally got the memo after 7 years or however long you've been coming on the show. The beard has arrived.
It happened.
It
The
happened.
TSA stole my shaving gear, and then I had a beard.
Zeke slipped him some money, and it finally happened. Yeah,
Finally happened.
yeah. That's how it goes. Did you lose everything? Like, what are we talking here? You say shaving gear. As three bearded men, that could mean a lot of different things. What are we doing here?
Right. Just literally the entire back holding everything I have to keep track of facial hair.
Okay.
So
like a straight edge? Are we talking? Are there some electronics involved here? What are we doing?
mostly electronics and what do you call the just the hat ones?
Straight edge. Yeah, straight edge.
You call them straight edge? Great.
Unless
that
you're
one.
using like a Mach 3 or something.
No, just one of the curved blades.
Yeah, straight edge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scimitar?
No, scimitar. Yeah, that's the one.
Scimitar in
That's
his
the one.
bag. Well, that's why they probably took it.
Oh, there's your problem then.
It's not allowed?
You
No.
can't be bringing
Oh.
full-length swords onto a flight.
We can't. Yeah,
I
you're
even
not
had-
allowed to
I
brandish.
even had thematic Arabic music.
No.
If you grab the blade and it just plays the music, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's big problem.
Oh.
Big problem.
Yeah,
That
no,
explains
did they confiscate it at the gate, or did they confiscate it out of your bag? Like out of your carry or your
Out of my bag. I think they just forgot to put it back in. They went and took it through a second round of checks, and it just didn't come out again. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
So it was an accident.
that's what I would say.
Yeah.
Well, it's that God, there's a I don't remember what it's from, but the guy some character in a movie is talking to the guy from TSA, and he's like, 9 times out of 10 it's just a clip, like a pair of clippers.
Right.
Every once in a while it's a dildo.
And guarantee it wasn't in my case.
Are
there it
you like 100%
scimitar.
sure, Rami, that wasn't the case?
I was incredibly sure.
Do you have a
Incredibly sure.
witness that can verify that it wasn't the case?
Yeah, but they work at the TSA, and I don't know their name, but I
Okay,
do
well,
know they
Rami,
have really good
99%
safety gear
dude,
now.
Hey,
You
Rami,
know.
I'm just gonna need you to come over here. We're gonna need to search your pocket. Like,
Yeah,
this
we-
is-
you're-
I
I
don't-
mean,
not feeling-
I'm so used to this that this does not
Guys,
impress me.
he's
Go
right
ahead.
here. We've
Like
got
here.
him. You can check him
Go
right now.
ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna need you to walk through. Put your hands like this and put them.
Yep, here we go.
Gonna rotate.
Here we
Don't
go.
move. Please stand
Yep.
on the 2 feet.
All right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Now I'm
I'm
gonna
ready
take
to drop frames, guys.
the back of my hand and I'm going to sweep it in a very, very quick clinical style in your bathing suit area. Just real quick.
And only
Try not to-
there
try not to
repeatedly.
pump any junk.
Can't believe you don't
Well-
have like some PTSD built
Wow.
up over all this, Rob.
At this point, I'm just used to it, which is the worst part. Like, I remember I was at E3 a few years ago, and I walked into the building, and I got this really weird feeling. Just this unpleasant, uncomfortable feeling. And I suddenly went like, haven't been checked. Wait, if I can get in, who else can get in?
That's true.
And it was this really weird feeling. I'm like, clearly security ain't here because I wasn't racism. So where's security? It was the weirdest feeling.
And that's why you went and reported it, and now E3's dead. Thanks, Rami.
And now E3 is dead. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I did report that.
Due to
actually. It
security
did make the
concerns, we've
news.
canceled E3 this year.
Yeah, it's
Um,
we finally found the hard-hitting journalism drop frames here. We found it.
That's
We
it.
got it. It was not Keeley. It was actually Ismail.
It wasn't
No.
even Keeley. It was just E3 killed E3.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like
100%. Yeah.
the worst self-inflicted wound in the history of mankind.
Correct.
Okay, while we've segued directly into this, I'm very interested in your opinion on this, Rami. So they immediately announced that E3 was gone this year, and then quickly followed up with, "We will be back better than ever at a future time." When you heard that, what did you immediately think?
Well, 3 options, right? Like option A is they
Electronic
indeed are
Entertainment Expo, right?
Nice. Yes. Well, yes. But
I mean, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Go ahead.
So option 1 is they're skipping a year. Option
Mhm.
2 is they have somehow found a plan to make it better. Option 3 is they're getting acquired.
Oh God! What
It's
if
one of the
Cock
three.
Media buys them? Oh no!
Ah! That's great.
Tell me
I hope
something.
they
Do
do.
you think we could see them kind of like devolve back into what they were before they went public back in the day, like where they were more behind closed door industry kind of thing?
I think so. I think so. Like, I mean, it seems possible that they just went, okay, you know what, this ain't working. We're gonna go back to something smaller, and that's a really real option. But sort of the three options that exist is either they're bluffing, and they'll be back better than ever, but they're the same people doing the same thing, and it's going to be miserable and super die instead of just die. Um, Option 2 is they have a plan and they just couldn't put it in place this year, which doesn't seem very likely because like why would they skip a year with that? And option 3 is just it's not going to be the same people anymore. So, somebody gets E3. And I think, given the dropping value and the amount of acquisitions, it's possible, but I don't know. Like there's a lot of big companies buying events at the moment as well. So
Yeah.
we'll see what
Well,
happens. But at
Isn't
least
that
it's
what,
not there this year.
Isn't that what like expos are normally? Aren't they normally like industry stuff? Like if you go to like I don't know, fucking a vacuum sales like expo, like it's just for vacuum sales like people, like representatives from Hoover will be there and Dyson will be there, but like the public doesn't really like get involved in that. I thought that's what like
That's what
expos
GDC is in
were.
a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
Yeah,
games.
well, I mean, you've got conventions and conferences tend to be for industry, and conventions tend to be for audiences. But games is a little weird in that we have this weird like gray line between creators and play and audience, right? Like the people making stuff and the people playing stuff is kind of a weirdly soft line, I guess.
Yeah.
Gamescom has managed to run that line for 15 years. Like
That is true.
they have a business area, they have an audience area. They just haven't figured out their deodorant area. But beyond that, it's a good show. But
Yeah. Is
E3
Gamescom
somehow
happening this
hasn't.
year? Have they said?
I think so. I think so.
Let's see.
But
It makes me want to
E3
imagine
It is.
like if other mediums were like the video game medium, where it's like they release a movie and enough people that are fans of the movie go to it and have bug reports like this doesn't work, this I don't like this sucks, like, and then the movie was like, okay, we're gonna release the movie again, but this time we took all your shit into consideration and here's your new movie, and everybody's like, no, it sucks now, worse, go back the way it was.
I mean,
They
to be
released the
fair,
movie like 30 times.
Cats was definitely better pre-patch.
Mm.
I don't know if you
Sonic,
watched
though,
Cats. but
Sonic actually post-patch. Sonic 1
Yeah.
at least. Yeah.
Sonic
Yeah,
was patched
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a good patch.
But that was a video game movie, though.
it's
Yeah,
true.
that is true. That's probably why
The
social
game-
media thought they could get away with it. Well, it's like a video game because it's a video game movie, right? It's the same thing. They could fix it.
I'd love to go to a movie and have to sit there for 5 minutes while the movie updates. Before you get to see anything, you're just sitting there going, oh, fuck, the projector's got to update.
Yep.
Son of a bitch. Oh, now the seat has to update now? Oh, God, I just want to watch this movie.
Chat says, I wish they'd patch the Halo TV show.
They'd have to turn it into actually a Halo show because it's still not.
Oh,
It's just a science fiction show right now with Halo things in it. Have you watched that yet, Rami? Don't do spoilers. We don't need to go back to it. But have you talked? Have you watched Halo at all, Rami?
Yes,
Okay. Wait, are
don't
you
like
caught
it.
up? I'm not caught up.
I gave up.
Oh, you gave up.
I'm out.
oh.
I'm out.
After
I'm
one?
done.
Was it the butt,
after,
Rami?
Basically after the first one, but the second one really like sealed the deal.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm out. I'll watch Moon Knight. I'm enjoying that, but Halo, I'm done with for now.
Okay. All right.
If at the end everybody says like, no, it turned around, it got good, sure, I'll go back and watch it. But for now, my trust was already pretty low for it. It's sub-zero at this point. So.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. I haven't watched the third episode yet, but I've heard some things. I've seen some Twitter.
I've heard.
Yeah, I've seen some tweets about it. Pretty divisive apparently. So I don't know. I might check that out tonight. So
JP, just real quick for anybody who's noticing, there's a little tiny line.
oh
Your-
yeah.
your guy there.
I'll just physically fix that. I'll just lean back here and do that.
Hey, you fixed it.
Wow.
Oh no.
Well,
Oh, dude, in my last
There
studio,
we go.
I had one of the pull-up Elgato streams.
that's what I've
screens,
got. Yeah.
And I literally had it sitting like 3 inches behind my chair, and no matter what I did, it was always one side every single
Yeah.
day. It was like someone came in while I was sleeping and just every day, like one direction. I never could get it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the only show that I use a green screen for now. So it's I do that every Sunday where it's like, oh, it's off by 1 pixel. Oh, or
Yeah, I finally just said it and painted the whole wall. Like
I
it's
did
like
that.
it's like 3 feet on each side.
yeah.
Like,
I was living in the snot room,
No.
and then I was like, well, I'm good. I'm gonna actually have a room now.
Yeah.
So we flip flopped there, Co. We did a little flip flopping.
I had, I've had to adjust. I've been using a green screen since I started, and you get like real sensitive about stuff. I don't know if you saw the post on Twitter that I put out where I was like, what is that? There's some light shining on my
With your phone?
thing. No, it was the mouse. It was a mouse cursor on the screen that I thought was my green screen
Oh
Having
my
a-
god.
having a hole in it or having like a light, like pinpoint lights.
In OBS.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Because I was looking at OBS, I'm like, there's something wrong with my green screen. There's a light. There's a bright white spot right here, and I
Zeke,
don't know where it's coming from.
I think me and Co
quick-
are about to
quick
go
question.
in the same direction
Quick
here.
question. Zeke,
Co, please.
Are you actually a cat?
Oh. Okay.
I just listen, dude. I've had to deal with green screen shit for so long because I guess I just refuse to get it right, or it refuses to stay, the way I want it.
Yeah.
Like any little like black dot, fuzz, white spot, like I can't let it go,
Hmm.
and I assume that it's something I did and fucked up, like always. It's always something I fucked up.
Hmm.
So that just like, and the realization that it was the mouse was a great moment for me.
So it's always about you. It's sounding more and more like you're a cat. Zeke, I'm not gonna lie, this isn't helping your case.
He saw cats and it changed his life.
Well, that's
It
true.
all
That is
starts with cats.
all
For
joking
sure.
aside, that's
That's
fucking true.
two
I
cat
had to write a
references this time.
diary about it. Like
Right.
that's how much it changed my life.
Yeah.
That was
Oh my
amazing,
God, that
by the way.
movie. So good.
It was a very
That's
good.
all
Only
I've ever
every time
done. The
I
most
felt-
I've ever been experienced to cats in any medium is Zeke's tweet on cats.
Yes.
That is I've never seen the play, I've never seen the movie or nothing. Just that tweet thread, and that's all I've needed to see. I don't feel the need to see it anymore.
If this says anything to you, the only other time I felt compelled to keep a diary about my experience was at IKEA. My first time at IKEA.
Another good thread.
So
Yeah.
like,
Oh my god.
there's these rare moments in your life where you need other people to understand it changes you.
Sure. I get it. Makes a lot of sense. IKEA?
I watched
And
that
watching
movie
cats.
at the end of a long day of cinema. I have a friend, and every now and then, me and him, we do a cinema day, and we just try to fit as many movies into one day as possible at a cinema. And we had that day. We started with Knives Out,
Okay.
and we came out of that just so incredibly impressed. And
Yeah.
then there was Star Wars, whatever the Skywalker one, the final one.
Okay. The
Um,
last Skywalker.
we came out of that, whatever it was,
Last
the
Jedi,
Skywalker, the final one. We came out of that not very happy.
Sure.
Then we watched Bad Boys for Life.
Ooh.
We came out of that pretty hyped again. And then we went into cats, and we were shell shocked for the rest of the day. We just came out of that movie just being like,
I've heard it's an experience. I refuse to watch it. I've been offered
it's gonna be okay,
to watch
Robbie.
it multiple times. I refuse.
It's gonna be okay, buddy.
I'm not ready
It's
for
gonna
that.
be okay, man.
I
Listen,
don't know,
listen.
man. Now that
Okay.
Go is saying you're a cat, I'm terrified.
It's really intense right now. It gets less and less intense as time goes by, man. But listen, I'm here. If you need to call me, I'll come get you. We'll go to a dog park. We'll do the opposite of cats.
Please help me.
Have you guys seen the most recent Blade Runner?
Yeah.
The scene where he repeats the lines to like make sure he's still functioning or whatever his robot. I forgot what it is. The AI testing. Is that what Cats is, but for furries? Like, do you go see Cats and it's like you either come out one way or another way from Cats? Is that accurate?
Oh, the dividing line.
Yeah.
The line in the sand.
Is that the line?
Yeah. Good
I mean, you
deal.
guys both went on one line, so it seems like that's at least accurate.
I don't think anybody came out of that completely correct.
Unscathed.
So, someone said no, even furries hated what they did. Okay. All right. The
I mean,
furry community
It
has
was
spoken.
so weird to see like Judi Dench as like a cat, but her arms were human and she was wearing a wristwatch. It like terrifying.
Dude. You like
wristwatch.
you read my like one of the lines from my diary was Judi Dench is here. She'll save this movie. And then 2 lines later, no, I was wrong about Judi Dench.
She did not save the movie.
She didn't do anything. Neither did Ian McKellen. Like,
Now,
oh my god, there were so many great names in this thing.
I've always had a question about cats. Are they supposed to be human-sized cats or human faces on cat-sized cats?
They're cats. They are plain cats.
So they're cat-sized cats in
Yes.
the lore. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
If you've never seen it, like everything is blown up big. Like
Oh, okay. So they do the Honey I Shrunk the Kids thing. Okay.
yes, for the most part.
Got
And
it.
then that is the last thing that makes sense.
Okay. All right. Noted.
Oh my god.
Noted.
Nothing else makes sense except for like they kind of try to play with the proportion of cat-sized cats, but obviously they're humans playing them because they make like things bigger, like shoes and countertops and like everything else. Like it's proportionally sized, but after that, like
They're all-
just throw logic, reason, plot.
Uh-huh.
They also just have like way too sensual
Setting,
dances
costumes.
with cats, and like just like these are like horny cats as well. Like it's just messed up. The whole thing is messed up.
That kind of is pretty spot. Like cats are
It's
horny dogs, horn dogs.
these are very horny cats. Like just happen to be Ian McKellen and Judi Dench as well, and it,
I know.
It's just not-
I
Those
know.
two specifically are just like really.
Sir
all
and
of them.
Dame. Sir
Man.
and Dame.
I'm learning a lot about this film today.
Oh God, Idris
Whatever we go
Elba.
to the dog park now.
Like
Yeah, Idris Elba's in there.
Knuckles.
Yep, Knuckles himself. That was a gateway, apparently. Idris Elba had something awakened in him.
well, he did
He
it
went
the right
from
way.
Luther
Like,
I mean, cats to
Cats
echidna are like
to
it's a
echidna.
natural progression. Yeah.
Yeah.
well, that's how you have to do it, right? Like, if you want to be, like, if you want to get, like, do whatever you want, first you establish yourself as a serious, respected, and respectable actor. Like, then whatever the fuck you want after that. Like, once you, like, have established yourself, like, I can do serious, good, hard-hitting, like, drama and stuff. Now I'm gonna go do fucking Cats and Sonic.
Can I just say how
Because,
much I
like,
love looking over in chat and seeing like a near first time chat and be like, this show is weird.
We're spreading the word. Of
I thought
cats.
this was about streaming and games. What's going on? You always talk about.
I mean, I will
the
say
first
if
half
we
of
can do
Top
a-
Frames has always been like a slice of life. you know?
Yeah, it's more slice of life. That's true. That's
If we
true.
can do a commentary stream of us watching Cats, I would love me and Zeke just watching you two watch.
What are you
Cats.
saying, Rami?
No,
What are
this
you
is-
saying?
I don't
want to
Wanna
see the
go
movie.
back
I
into
will
the
watch.
lion's den?
I'll go back.
I
And
don't wanna
finish
go back.
Resident Evil
I don't wanna
7
watch the
VR
movie.
before I watch Cats. Like that's it's
I
off
want to watch
limits.
them watch it.
As long as we all can watch Morbius afterwards, then I might agree
Oh
to
boy.
it.
What's that?
That Morbius flick with Jared Leto that just came out.
that one
I've heard
Cyber-
horrible things.
Yeah.
Oh man,
We'll get
yeah.
we'll get Jesse and Bronze in on that as well. It'll be a shit show.
No, Rami, if you want that to happen, you're gonna have to Clockwork Orange me. You're gonna have to like fucking strap me down, fucking eye opener things, eye drops and shit
Okay.
like that.
I'm in. We're good.
Just please don't put any
There we
any
go.
Tool or Alice in Chains underneath it because I love
PSA, he's right
that
here.
music and I don't want to hate it for the rest of my life.
Send me your address and I'll bring the gear.
Jesus. Yeah. Anyway,
What's that about roosters?
Yeah, I think so. Where do we want to go from here? We could really go
Where-
anywhere. We could
Yeah,
really
no
go
segue.
anywhere. We
You know,
could
I
talk
wrote
about.
something down.
Park.
I actually wrote something down that I think is appropriate now more than ever. It says because I thought it would be an interesting topic
Okay.
for Rami. It said, why do you keep coming back, Rami? I kind of
This?
why do you keep coming back to Drop Frame?
I
Yeah.
trick him every time. I get every single time. I say, "Hey, Rami, click this link. It'll be great," and then he's on the show. We don't.
Right.
He doesn't even agree.
Yeah, I was about to have dinner. No, I can't have dinner. It's Ramadan. But
Yeah, true.
Yeah, no, it's always a mess, and I love that.
Fair enough.
Just show up. Never know what's gonna happen. Sometimes it's 3 hours of serious video game talk. Sometimes it's 3 hours of complete nonsense, and then there's the chat.
Yeah,
and I love the chat too. So
Right on.
just
Yeah.
cozy.
That's good. That's good.
Plus, I'm not in a box of shame this time, so that's cool.
Oh, that's
That is
right.
very nice.
Ah, the beard helped with that.
Oh,
Yeah, that was,
that's what the difference is.
it is. That's the big difference for sure. Yeah.
gotta keep the
We
beard
can
in.
talk GDC. You were there. We haven't really. I think we had. Was Khalif on when he was it, or maybe that was prior to GDC? I forget. I don't think we've talked about it yet. How was the old GDC? What's the state of the industry, Rami, from your eyes?
I survived.
Okay, came out
yeah,
good
it was-
without COVID. Good job.
Yeah, that was apparently pretty rare. Yeah, no, the state of the industry is confused. I think is honestly the truth. Like, I think a lot of people want things to be going better than they are. Is that the right way of saying it?
You mean in
Like
terms of the games industry or like everything in the world?
games, game development, well, everything in the world, but mostly the games industry. It was also weird because I don't know, but like I used to travel to a lot of conferences pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And you get this thing that are sort of like transient friendships, right? They happen while you're at the conference, and then when you're gone, you don't talk to each other until you see each other at the next conference. So you say hi with like, "Hey, so have things been?" You get like the 3 to 6 month update on somebody's life, and then you continue the conversation as if that moment passed in the last week, right?
Mhm.
And you're just friends for that week, and then you stop being friends until you see each other again. And it was really weird that we tried to do that, but 2.5 years had passed. So you go like, "So how are you?" And
Yeah.
people go like, "Well, I had 2 kids, I launched 2 games, I moved country," and it's just like, so there was a lot of like, "Whoa, what?" Happening this GDC. I think a lot of the industry is sort of like trying to reckon with all the harassment, abuse, blah blah blah, all that stuff.
Mhm.
A lot of unionization talk,
Sure.
like all that stuff.
Mm.
There was a lot of people talking about games that came out a year and a half ago, because I guess we didn't really have.
The time or the conversation.
Yeah, we
in
never
general.
really had the opportunity to talk about those things. It was full, and I mean full of NFT and Metacritic booths
Really.
that just really wanted to sell NFT and not
Oh, by
Metacritic, the
boots you
Metaverse
mean
stuff.
like people peddling?
Oh yeah,
NFT.
yeah, but also boots. People bought boots on the show floor to peddle that stuff.
Said these
It was
come
ridiculous.
with the NFT attached to them. You can collect it later
Yeah.
online.
I think I had like
Cool.
11 meetings that just ended up being people like, so have you heard of NFTs? And I'm like, yes, thank you very much. Anyway, I'm going to grab some lunch. Bye.
So you're saying it's going to
So
get worse before it gets better
I'm-
with the
I
NFT
think,
situation, at least.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's obvious that every company has to try it. And
Yeah.
I think it's sort of normalizing in the industry. Like we're getting sort of desensitized to seeing it, which is always bad news because
Oh, look at Dr.
people
Disrespect's
stop
project.
finding it.
Like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that
Yeah.
may be the shoe-in for like standardized NFT stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually like kind of excited because when he started his project, it was like, oh, okay, so he's got, this multi-million-dollar company. He's going to try NFTs. He's a gamer. He knows how much gamers hate them. So maybe this is going to be like an actual interesting implementation, right? Like maybe this is going to be something to kind of like change the scope and everything. And then like 2 weeks later, he was like, so check out this drop of random hair with random background, with random gun, with random face image. Everyone's getting them. Awesome. And it's like, oh, great. It's literally the Dr. Disrespect board face yacht club. Like,
Yep.
okay, here we are.
It's going to
All
happen.
right.
Like every company is going to try them, and it's going to be exactly as Code described, where it's just every time it's going to be the exact same thing being sold as a different phrase. I think there's some companies trying to do more interesting things with NFT, but the honest truth is with NFT is there is nothing an NFT does that you can't do better with already existing technology.
Yeah.
Like anything game related is not going to be better for having NFTs because for an NFT to work in a project, the code has to be able to trust it. Right? The code needs to know that this is valid and safe, at which point you need a signing authority or somebody who signs off on the NFT being true, which is the opposite of decentralization, which is what an NFT is meant to be. So if there's an authority, if that authority shuts down, then your NFT suddenly stops being of any value.
Which is what
So the
happened
whole idea
with a game last week. Yeah. Like
the racing game.
the F1 game. Yeah, it shut down. Someone
Right.
bought an NFT in 2017 for $110,000, and now it's literally worth zero because it
Yep.
doesn't. The game doesn't. They shut it down.
So that's the thing. It just doesn't.
Wow.
For NFTs to work, we need to reorganize the entire games industry from the ground up to have every games company agree on what this NFT thing is. Then all agree that we're going to use that one, and then all have some sort of centralized place where we can save that data and make sure that it's safe. We can't even figure out. We can't even figure out in our own games how to, like, Destiny 1 and 2, between those two, they redid every item
Right.
because they wouldn't work in Destiny 2.
I love how you're like, the
Weird.
one thing that NFTs need to function is that thing that they're supposed to not be doing.
Right.
And that's like,
Exactly.
it's like from the beginning, it is inherently, foundationally, fundamentally flawed.
Yeah.
Um,
A centralization for a decentralized thing.
We
That's
really
one
need
of
to
my mods
centralize
put
this decentralization. So I think it's important.
I didn't research this too much, so this is hot off the at least the news that I'm reading. They're putting NFTs into Dungeons and Dragons.
Officially?
Yeah, like they've come out and announced a Web3 company is building a 5e tabletop RPG on chain. The actual system is, according to Gizmodo, says that product, which nobody outside the company has yet seen, is a digital platform meant to allow fans of the tabletop role-playing game Dungeons and Dragons to roleplay using NFTs indicative of player characters, NFT-PCs, and then save the details of their gameplay
Wait.
adventures on the
Stop.
blockchain.
Stop.
Increase
NFT PC?
Yeah,
Did you
NFT
just say
PCs
is that an NPC
non-fungible
on?
tokens player characters is what that stands for.
I'm up.
And then it says, and then save the details of their gameplay adventures on the blockchain, increasing the complexity and the value of the NFT. They call this a, quote, play to progress system.
So all it is just a cloud service to save character stats that they're attaching to NFTs. That's it.
Yeah.
I just cannot I cannot express enough how much I loathe NFT PC. It is the worst thing I've heard like in a month, and bad shit has happened this month. But NFT PC,
NFT PC.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
worst.
somebody wrote that. Somebody signed up. Some marketing person went like, "Yes."
Yeah.
I'm
That's
just
it.
glad, like, I am not. I'm not young and as gullible as I used to be. Like, I'm just
Now you're just
remembering,
old
like,
and
I have a whole, like, I have bags of marbles and pogs. I have paintball gear, like shit that I've gotten into over the years that is just now garbage, taking up space in my, storage facility or my shed or whatever. Thankfully, I
Also-
did not come around. Like NFTs didn't come around when I was like that of that mind. Like, oh, I'm gonna play paintball every day. Like, oh, these are gonna be great. NFTs are gonna be great. Like, they're gonna be worth so much.
Man, I need to read this out loud. This is so the system is called Gripnir. Grip NR, I guess is how you pronounce that. This is a long thing. Okay, so Gripnir, a reference to the mythological Gleipnir in Chain and Norse stories, is a Web3 tabletop RPG game currently in development led by Comer, 4 handpicked tech supporters, and 1 tabletop RPG writer. Right now, the company is in the process of preparing its game content, mainly writing by Gripnir's lead game designer, Stephen Radney McFarlane, a blah, blah, blah. He worked for Paizo's Pathfinder and as well as D&D. His work will include lore and maps of the fantasy world called The Glimmering. After this is complete, Gripnir plans to generate 10,000 random D&D player characters, PCs, assign a, quote, rarity to a certain aspect of each, such as ancestry and class, and mint them as NFTs. Each NFT will include character stats and a randomly generated portrait of the PC designed in a process overseen by Gripnir's lead artist, Justin Kammerer. Additional NFTs will be minted to represent weapons and equipment. Next, Gripnir will build a system for recording game progress on the Polygon blockchain. Players will log into the system and play an adventure under the supervision of a Gripnir certified game master. After each game session is over, the outcome will be logged on chain, putting data back onto each NFT via a contract protocol that will allow a single NFT to become a long record of the character's progression. Gripnir will distribute the cryptocurrency Opal to GMs and players as in-game capital. Any loot, weapons, or items garnered in-game will be minted as new sellable NFTs on OpenSea, a popular NFT marketplace. As PCs gain levels in-game, Gripnir asserts that their associated NFTs will become more valuable, and when they are resold, the owner and any creative who contributed to the associated portrait will receive a cut of the sale price. Comer says this could mean as many as 10 people could conceivably receive money from each sale, but could not provide percentages that each creative might receive. What the fuck?
No, wait. Let me continue. Let me continue this one more paragraph. Unfortunately, writing data to a blockchain isn't as simple as writing hit points in pencil on a well-worn paper character sheet. Every time a user wants to perform a function on the Polygon blockchain, like adjusting the character level on an NFT PC, they have to pay a gas fee, a tiny charge that help fund the computational resources required to make the change.
For every single change of any stat.
You have to pay to level up.
Yeah, no, it says this means on the Gripnir protocol there will be 2 gas fees per game that players must pay. Gripnir says it'll keep fees down by operating on Polygon rather than another more popular blockchain server system like Ethereum. More on this later. So in order to play on the Gripnir protocol, players will not only have to purchase a Gripnir NFT PC, they'll also have to buy or earn Opal to pay for a game session or make purchases of digital goods such as items and adventures. Those purchases will help keep the tech company running.
Somebody asked in chat, or somebody stated in chat, that we're saying this is D&D. This is not actually Wizards of the... This is not like the actual D&D people. This is somebody who's using D&D for their own project. Is that...
I'm reading further here. It looks like it's this company called Gripnir, and it has nothing to do with Hasbro.
Okay. Yeah, so we got to be careful. This is not the D&D that's doing this. This is some company that's looking to exploit it for their own gains.
Yeah, they actually reached out to Wizards, who's the company behind Dungeons and Dragons, and said, we do not allow third parties to misappropriate our valuable intellectual property and take appropriate steps when necessary. So
So Wizards was like, yeah, we're going to shut that shit down.
Yeah. That's wild.
You have to pay to level up.
You're still stuck on that. Yeah, you're right. The article's pretty long on Gizmodo. This came out Friday. So
The article's called "NFTs Are Here to Ruin D&D."
they're just straight up about it. Anyways, that's wild. It's crazy.
There you go.
Yeah. So what other
NFTs
fun?
remind me of like NFTs remind me of a lesson I learned playing poker, playing Texas Hold'em, because I was into that for a while. And one of the biggest rules is if you can't spot the sucker at the table,
It's you.
It's
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yep.
like
Very true.
all the NFT people who are creating it are like, yeah, and then someone's like, hey, what's an NFT? I got money to spend. Like,
But
Dude, well, I
that-
mean, it didn't exactly help. Again, like that we have projects like by Dr. Disrespect, but then we also have famous people that have no idea what they're doing, going on shows talking about spending huge amounts of money for them. So of course, then their plethora of eyes that are on that are like, oh, what are NFTs? The guy I likes them. You know, like I should go buy some. And yeah, now here we are.
So
yeah.
the scary part about all this, and I think why people are worried that Hasbro/Wizards will actually get involved, is the CEO of Hasbro, Brian Goldner, has come out and said that his company is working on NFT technology and that it could be applied to collectibles in the company's portfolio, including Magic the Gathering. This was on April 27th. And they said
Of last year. Right?
Yeah, NFTs are a real opportunity for us. As you know, we have so many brands that really operate on multiple demographic levels, whether it's Transformers, whether it's Magic and the D&D brand, and brands like G.I. Joe. We have a team that is leading our effort out on the West Coast. We have our arms around this and see multiple opportunities on the NFT side. And you'll hear more about that as we move forward. But as we are actively developing our opportunities here, we do see it as substantial.
well, to be fair, Magic the Gathering was child gambling. You know, we didn't know that was what it was.
Yeah.
But like when I was buying packs of Revised, you know, an Ice Age and all that shit, I was like, that's the first rush of gambling I ever got. Was like, oh my god, I got $10, and yes, I could buy 3 packs with $10. I'm gonna go buy 3 packs of Magic. You pull it, you're like, God, no. Ah,
Oh, yeah.
Royal Assassin, motherfucker. You know,
Yeah. All right, I gotta close that. That's gonna make me more
Right.
depressed.
But yeah, so that was GDC. That was GDC for me.
Oh wait,
It was a lot of
Interesting.
people pitching exactly that to me.
Sure. Yeah. What'd you find, Co?
quick side thing before we continue. Somebody in chat actually just said, Sussy Scotty, Rich Stoddart is actually the new CEO, so that could change. So
Oh, okay. I
Mm.
didn't
since
realize
then,
there was-
maybe we've had a realignment.
In like 17 days, they have a brand new CEO. Okay.
Was that April of last year? You said April 27th, or was that March 27th?
I want to say that was April.
Because I thought we had talked about the Magic thing a while back.
Oh, that was April of last year. Good catch. Yeah.
Yeah.
I stopped reading after I saw April.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe
So
they're
they
going to realign.
ousted
I
him.
will say, well, maybe not for that, but I will say that it would, like, especially with as much as they're already kind of in that space, not in the best of terms. If they were to start pushing NFT stuff, that would probably, especially with everything else going on, probably not be the best. You know,
Well,
maybe
and,
that was
100% correct. And I also think, like, as involved as I was in the D&D space, especially on Twitter, that you don't want to hit that hornet's nest like that. That'll be a huge reckoning for all of
reckoning.
Wizards. Like, it'll go down not well. It'll be really bad.
Right.
And also Magic players as well would probably throw just as big of a social media fit. Rightfully so. Not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but yeah. So yeah, you just got pitched a lot of NFT stuff, huh? That's all
Yeah,
it
and a
was?
lot of people asked me if I had NFT stuff to pitch.
Yeah.
It's just
Was
it
that like
seems
a
there's
trick to
literally-
see where is that how you opened with friends? So you're doing an NFT and then they just hit you.
And he- How you feeling about Web3, huh? Yeah, you like it?
You just get disappeared. Wake
What's
up in a
what's
room.
your, what's your wallet
got
looking
one.
like these days?
We got one. Get him.
Yeah.
Where's
You got one
where's
of
my
those cool
slippers?
hexagon
Where's my
Twitter
slippers?
things?
You get transported to the anti Web3 Illuminati, whoever's controlling that.
No, I think it's just because there's a lot of people walking around with money at GDC to invest in stuff, right? And I think with NFT right now, definitely there's a lot of people who know that it's gonna die, but they believe that there's enough time to make some money off of it. And that seems to be sort of general, like the general consensus seems to be like it ain't going away anymore. Like blockchain, it ain't going away. Like it's gonna be a part of things, but there's a smart way of applying blockchain, which is internal, right? It's not a public thing. It doesn't do interoperability. It doesn't do you don't save your character's level on the blockchain. You use it to do what blockchain was meant for, which is basically basic account management and like process management. And companies like Mercedes-Benz and BMW and all these car brands are using blockchain internally. They're great for that. They're incredible. They're super good. But as soon as you make them this public thing that people trade on, it stops making sense because there's no authority and people say it's decentralized, and then every single NFT thing points at OpenSea. If OpenSea goes away, everything breaks down. Like if OpenSea dies, that's the end of NFTs as we know them right now.
And that also means that any policy things, any hot water like you basically anchor not only your systems to it, but you anchor your public image, your support. Like at that point, it's like if you anchor your product to OpenSea and then something happens to OpenSea or some horrible things comes out and they start, like their entire company gets set on fire publicly, you then have to either support that or just dump the whole NFT product from your system. Like, so it becomes so messy. Everything just becomes messy. Yeah. Then OpenSea gets hacked. Exactly. Or something just terrible happens.
Well, from a legal perspective, for example, all this NFT interoperability stuff, like what if somebody puts some like hardcore illegal content instead of a JPEG that was already there?
Right.
And now your game loads that information and a 13-year-old sees it.
Sure.
Are you legally responsible? Because the kids are playing your game, and the parents are definitely going to sue you for displaying it to your kid. You're going to have to argue that it was OpenSea that accidentally let that through and that they didn't moderate it correctly. And that's why your 13-year-old was exposed to some inappropriate Cats fan fiction imagery.
Which is just an image of Judi Dench and Idris Elba from Cats. There's no alteration to the image.
It's just
take any gel from that movie, and it's inappropriate. No one should watch that.
Third Cats reference. Good job, everyone.
But yeah, that basically, legally it doesn't make sense. Economically it doesn't make sense. Technologically it doesn't make sense. But my God, there's a ridiculous amount of money in there right now.
Sure.
So a lot of people are just like, okay, we'll do one NFT project. We'll take a giant bag of money, and then NFTs will be dead.
Yeah.
But
just like
at the same
who's
time,
holding that
sort of
100K bag from the F1 project right now?
Right.
Someone is,
Right.
and they're like, cool.
Yeah.
That was easy. That was fun.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
So yeah, that was depressing. It was really good seeing the industry again, though. It was really good seeing people again. Like, COVID was a genuine problem at GDC, and it was poorly handled by the organizers, I would say. But it was also at such a scale that I think, in hindsight, you probably should have seen it coming. Smaller shows did not have similar super spreader properties, so I think we should probably keep it to much smaller shows for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was good seeing games win awards, right? Wow.
Inscription is I think maybe where you're going.
Won a ton. Yeah, Inscription won a ton. Unpacking won a ton. That was really good to see. Independent games did super good in 2021.
Well, I have the BAFTA page open if that's what we're...
Yeah, I
Right.
watched it.
That was yesterday, right? Or the day before?
That was Thursday, or I think it was Thursday. I'll say Thursday.
Somewhere late last week.
Yeah, I think it was Thursday. They streamed it
Best
live.
animation goes to Ratchet and Clank. Artful Escape gets artistic achievement. Returnal gets audio achievement, and then Returnal gets best game.
Yep. They also took home best lead actor or performance by lead actor. For
Returnal did a bunch of great stuff.
Yeah, BAFTA Returnal was very big at the BAFTAs, essentially.
Yeah.
It won a lot. Unpacking was the big surprise.
Jane
hit there.
Perry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jane Perry,
Jane
that was
Perry,
her name.
performer in a leading role, and then Kimberly Brooks, performer in a supporting role. Loop, was that Deathloop or?
No, that
Deathloop?
was.
Yeah, could have been.
I forget what the other one was for. I don't think Deathloop took home a single award, actually.
Psychonauts.
Yeah,
right?
Psychonauts. That's right. She played
Psychonauts.
Hollis. The voice
Oh,
actor for
okay,
Hollis
okay,
one.
okay.
Yeah. If you're looking for everyone that says like, where are the award shows that focus on the awards? That was the BAFTAs. It was an hour and a half of just nonstop awards.
Right.
There was no trailers. It's just awards.
Yeah, and
It
GDC
was
Awards
fine.
was that too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It just turns out that most of the audience doesn't actually want that.
Right.
Because it's like you can watch a bunch of people win awards for games you already know about. Like it's nice, but it's not super interesting as a show.
Right. Yep. In terms of just like outside of NFTs and the future, I guess, of games, did you see some cool stuff that you can't talk about? Are you at least excited for the future of that?
Yeah, I think mostly what I felt at GDC is sort of like a lot of people are. So one thing that's been really cool in the games industry is just I don't know how to say this politely, and I don't know how to say it in a way that doesn't sound a little bit
Don't worry, that's
mean,
me every
but
week.
like
Go ahead.
uh, I think AAA is like really bleeding right now. Like it
Yeah?
is not doing well. A lot of people are just incredibly tired of bad opportunities, getting any, not sharing in the success of the things they make,
From a worker
watching
standpoint,
other people
you're
get,
saying.
yeah, watching people get rich off of work they're doing. Um, Sort of seeing these NFTs slipping into their work, return to the office, like all sorts of stuff like that. So more than ever before, you're seeing really talented people leave AAA and starting their own thing
Sure.
to like an unprecedented skill. Like in 2010, when I started in indie games, sort of what we killed coming up was the sort of middle ground games. You were either a AAA and you had the money to compete, or you were an indie and you didn't need money. And if you were in the middle, you needed money, but you couldn't compete with AAA, so you died. Right? Like that was it. Like your company went under. And right now we're seeing the inverse happen. It's increasingly hard to compete with AAA budgets. So even the AAAs are starting to try smaller projects because you just can't keep up with quadruple A nonsense, right?
Yeah.
And for indies making cheap games, you can do that, but it's not going to make money, right? Because it's unlikely that people will play it because there's just so much competition. So right now we're actually seeing a full resurrection of that middle space. And that's where a lot of these people are going. And that's where a lot of these people are finding money and they're finding each other and they're sort of trying to do better. And I think a lot of the best games of the next 2 to 5 years are going to come from things like that, where like 3 or 4 people that have worked with each other in the past are tired of working at their jobs and drop out. I think you'll see the most successful ones will be people who worked at different studios. And I think there will be a lot of, and we've seen that in the past few years already, where there's a lot of people who are like 4 people from Ubisoft left. They started a new company and made all the mistakes Ubisoft made just as a small company.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
The people who are bringing in like these different groups of people, combinations of indies, triple A's, that's really where that I think that's where gold is going to shine in our industry the next few years, and I can't wait.
Sweet.
That's going to be really exciting.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because on the flip side of what you were just mentioning about the small studio, that's what happened to Arcane. The Arcane, like a group of Arcane guys went out and they made Wolf Eye Studio, and now just at the end of last month we got Weird West, which in a lot of ways was freaking awesome. And it's like then they did their own thing,
Yeah.
and it speaks very highly to what you just said.
It's going to be fun. That part is going to be really fun.
Someone in my chat asked, wanted to know if you saw, or how many projects Rami saw using UE5.
Yeah, let's talk about Unreal. There was the state of Unreal on Monday. Is everyone using that?
Everybody wants to be using it. If you're not, like,
what purposes? Because I watched the full 40-minute, 50-minute thing. Is it just ease of access? Is it like industry standard? Is it super simple to work with?
it's that. It's also just it finally feels like an engine. I think a lot of people are just excited that this feels like stuff we want to be using. And I think for a very long time, and especially sort of the Unity Unreal battle has sort of been fought over the last 10 years, 15 years, and I think Unreal is pulling ahead, like really pulling ahead at this point. Like the technology seems more accessible, the product seems more stable, the business case is more sensible. Um, yeah, I like Unity. I wish it would be doing better, but UE5 just seems to. It seems a lot of people are just excited about what you can do with it at relatively low effort. Um, and yeah, the it's a really easy way to make your game look very good, very fast. They're just very good at that. But um, I don't know. I don't like it per se that they're getting ahead because I think it's healthy to have competing products. Yeah.
Sorry, I was pulling up this is UE5 right here. This is from the Coalition, I think, at Xbox is what this is. Like a tech demo reel they put out during the video or during the
Yeah.
live stream.
Yeah, and this is cool, but this is kind of like the boring stuff, right? When you think about it, like this is what UE has always been good at,
Yeah.
rendering this kind of scene. Um, it's what this technology will allow us to do that doesn't look like that. That is the most interesting. Because this is incredible. This is beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's incredible, right? Like, look at that. Like, look at that. But at the same time, this is just photorealism in many ways, and that's cool,
You still have to make a game.
right?
Yeah.
But what can you do with this that
Yeah.
is going to be interesting?
Yeah.
And I mean, we saw this, right? We saw this before with the Order back when the PS4 came out.
Right.
Looked unlike anything that we had seen before, but it wasn't necessarily the most interesting to play. It's just basically it's an interesting time for tech, I think.
Are you seeing or hearing like you're seeing Xbox move over and they're using a lot more UE5. You're seeing a lot bigger games and bigger studios use UE5. But PlayStation's kind of doing its own thing, and a lot of their first party studios are using their own thing. Is that, do you think that'll stay the course where people will try to use and stay with what they know instead of adopting this? Because it is a little bit of a shift. It takes a little bit extra time to actually learn this on a studio level.
Right. I think what you'll see is you'll like with everything in games, you'll see consolidation. Like more and more people will be using tech like this just because it takes less time to teach people.
Hmm.
It takes less time to train people, but inertia is a really big issue in the games industry. So whatever you're using is what you want to keep using if it's working.
Hmm.
You only
Which is
switch
why it
if
was
you
such a big
can't
deal with Witcher
do.
3.
Yeah.
Oh, when they announced it, that they were,
They're gonna have to redo so much just to
Yeah.
switch engines, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's gonna be wild.
that's true.
You know what really won the war for Unreal? And I mean, I don't think the war is over yet, but I think they're winning.
What's that?
I think one thing that they did that was really, really clever is in Unreal, you have no real requirement to show the Unreal logo unless you're a game of a certain skill.
Oh, you mean at boot, like in boot?
Yeah. And in Unity, you have no requirement to show the Unity logo unless you're under a certain skill.
Huh.
You're saying scale, right?
Scale, like a scale of game, a certain scale of commercial, like
Yes, he is. Zeke.
value.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Um,
the PlayStations of the world have to put UE5 if it's going to be that size, but the indies of the world don't have to put UE5. It's going to be an indie, I think.
and in Unity,
Also,
it's the
the
opposite way
licensing-
around.
Yeah.
The licensing
Unity,
stuff
you
with
ha-
Unreal is huge too. Oh, go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, so I was just going to say, Unity is the opposite. because in Unity, until you have a commercial license, you have to put the Unity logo, which means that all the bad, quickly made, crappy games have a Unity logo on it, and none of the ones made in Unreal have an Unreal logo in it. But then all the high quality stuff doesn't have the Unity logo on it because they paid the license. And for Unreal, everything that's good has the logo. So it's really weird.
Yeah. I've never actually considered the amount of logos that show on boot. Is that a big deal for like AAA? Are there long drawn out email chains, conversations, meetings about all of that? Like who's going to get the boot logo?
This is like a huge part of publishing contracts.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
There will always be a clause that says like, hey, the publisher's logo has to be shown for at least 3 seconds or equivalent to the developer's logo in a size that is similar or larger than if there is a physical product, it needs to be on the front if the developer's logo is in the front. But if the developer's logo is not on the front, it has to be on the back. It has to be minimum this size. Like that's a huge part of those discussions. PEGI and ESRB have minimum amounts of time. I think it's 3 full seconds that they need to be on the screen. Those sequences are like super negotiated.
Yeah. Cost more for the first one, less for the last ones type of deal, or middle chain's cheapest because it's not near the actual game screen. I couldn't even fathom what that conversation looks like.
My favorite is seeing the conversation when it's unclear whether players can skip it.
Oh,
because that's the discussion. That's an actual negotiation that happens. Is like, will we allow players to skip the logos?
Yeah. I mean, as someone who's played
And for the
games,
record,
I'm
for
spamming
anyone in the industry that says the players should not be able to skip their logo, we kindly ask you to leave the industry.
Listen, motherfuckers. Like, I play a lot of CD-ROM games with like you. We're doing all right because back in the day, you boot up a CD-ROM game and you have like a full 2 minutes of unskippable.
It's like going to a movie,
animated, like like animated shit, like Sierra, or
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
LucasArts. You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
like
I will say back in the day, it was a little bit of a loading hider.
Mm.
Because we were probably just also loading stuff and playing a video. You could just play
Fair
the
enough,
video
sure.
while we were loading in the background. Nowadays, it's nonsense.
Sure. Yeah.
Let people skip the logos, for God's sake, please.
Well, I also and
I'm
maybe
33 years old now. I don't have time for this stuff.
maybe it's because I was a
Uh,
kid and I was easy fooled by marketing and whatnot. But back in the day, they had some bangers. That EA intro, every time you would say it, you'd shout it out. It was always good.
Yep,
It was
that's
always
true.
good.
hey, even on the console, Sega.
oh, yeah,
dude,
the
every
Sega stuff.
every single time to this day, if I see their logo, I hear that in my head
Right.
every single time.
Yeah. The
then
PS2
there's
was
ones you
legendary.
see in your nightmares. The PS2 one where you're like, my disc is a little scuffed.
Oh,
Please go into the game. Please go into the game. Please don't go into not the cube. Not the cube. Ah, God!
that is true. However, the PS2 boot or the PS1 boot, both just incredible. Just seeing that for the first time, a lot of game experiences formed around that.
I really like nowadays where they do your boot up sequences setting screen, right? Just
Yeah.
like set your subtitles, stuff like that, accessibility features, volume, frame rate, stuff like that. And then intro video that has the logos. And then like the actual intro to the game and then the main menu.
Yeah, that's the
I
better
really
way to
like
do it.
those. Because I will skip that intro video every single time after, and some games even automatically skip it nowadays, where it's just like, okay, you boot up the game, main menu, here we are. But Sony seems to be doing that as a standard now, and it's good.
Sure. I had one, funny enough, with the Skywalker saga for Lego. You watch this awesome intro. It's really cool. You get to see, all the big Star Wars moments from all the films. And then as it's loading into the title screen and you get to see all the characters, the big reveal and everything, a little dialogue box pops up and just blocks it all as it's still like framing itself. And I was like, who the fuck decided that that's how that should go? That just is not not great. Not
I,
great.
I love when you can tell that the scene was created before the achievements were added.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yes.
like, you have like a shot and it's like the two characters, it's like zooming out and the two characters at the bottom of the screen, and then they just achievement unlocked pop up on the Xbox 360 comes up, and they're blocking everything, and you're just like, I guess the people making the achievements didn't care about the video, and the people making the video weren't aware of the achievements.
That's correct. Yeah. Or it never got played while the two systems were connected. Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. There at the very end of that video we were watching, they announced that the next Tomb Raider is being made. That was one of the bigger announcements from that on UE5. We didn't get anything else other than that, but new Tomb Raider at least is coming out for any Tomb Raider fans. Can kind of go into a little bit of news. There is kind of a lot of stuff. I'm sure you got spammed about the Return to Monkey Island. It's coming out.
Oh yes, what a freaking treat, man! They've been
Yeah.
apparently working on that since 2000, and nobody said a word. And here's
Pretty
the best
wild.
part: Ron Gilbert, for like 14 years, made it a point on his still running blog every April Fool's Day to be like, "I'm not doing anything. There's no April Fool's Day." And then this April Fool's this year, he puts, "I'm releasing a new Monkey Island game," and everyone's like, "Oh look, he finally did a joke!" And then like 3 days later, this came out, and they were like, "Mother, Ron Gilbert!"
Talk about the
It
long
was-
con, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was amazing. So yeah, it's looking great. It's they somehow now the funny joke here in the preview is that the quote that Murray the Skull starts talking about. There was an old interview that Ron did where he basically said something along the lines of, "I'm not going to do another one of these games until I own the IP myself." And they kicked the skull off midway through the quote, and then because it looks like LucasArts absolutely was licensed to make this game again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Devolver's doing it. Ron Gilbert's back. They're picking up from 2. So it is not a continuation from of the Telltales or anything like that. Right at the end of 2, when they were in the carnival, they're then picking up with Return to Monkey Island. So this is the actual 3 that we've all been wanting for like over a decade.
Nice.
So it's very exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 decades? 2 decades. Almost 2 decades.
Yeah, probably 2. A little older than that. Yeah. Yeah. And Devolver's involved. There's like a
Yeah, which
there's
is
like
great.
a safety I guess safety net is the word I'll use. Whenever Devolver's involved with a project, you feel kind of like, okay, that's in good hands. Like I don't have to be
There are
too worried
certain
about it.
there's no real guarantee of quality level with Devolver because they really, they release buggy stuff, they release stuff that's not finished all the time. But you do know there's certain things that aren't going to happen with Devolver on it, which is good, which is really good. You know they're not going to try any weird DLC crap. There's not going to be any in-game store. There's not going to be NFTs. Like there's certain things that are just big red X's when you hear Devolver. So it's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the answer to this is no, because it goes against everything that Devolver kind of stood for in the past. But Microsoft wouldn't buy Devolver, right? That's not a thing. They've been pretty friendly with Game Pass in recent months, and continue to be with like Trek to Yumi.
Are they buying dev studios or are they buying publishers? I thought Microsoft was looking for dev studios.
Kind of both.
Kind of both, yeah.
Devolver does a
both.
few
I mean,
games, but they're
Activision
mostly
Blizzard is-
publisher.
You're
And granted,
right,
Bethesda's a publisher as well. But
Right.
You're right. They
I
don't
think they're
really
mostly-
develop much. Yeah.
yeah, they've developed a few things, but I think they're like
Buy
90%
the name
publishing.
though. If you buy the name is the important part, right?
That's true. That's
Right.
true.
But
But we got to think about why
it
they were
strikes
buying
me
things.
as the question that would come up is like, is everything for sale? Because like,
True.
I'm Devolver fanboy. I've been, I've met most of like the muckety mucks at least once or twice, and they seem like they're down to earth. They're not in it for just money. I mean, obviously they're a business, so they have to make money, but it's not their like,
I mean,
soul
but it doesn't matter anymore,
or
right?
whatever.
Like,
But like, is it for sale?
Yeah.
well, they're public now.
Devolver's public?
I thought so. Didn't they go
Let's see.
public a while ago?
I don't know what that means. I'll be honest with you. I've heard that
Public
word
on the
used
stock
in my
market.
life.
Yep, they are a public company on November 4th, 2021.
Right. So basically, it doesn't matter what Devolver wants, as long as somebody can buy the shares, then it's done.
Oh,
True.
really? Okay, so if Microsoft buys a majority share, they can say whatever they
Right.
want with. Wow. Okay.
Right. But
Okay.
I don't think there's any value in buying Devolver right now. Like I think because you know what would happen if Devolver gets bought by like they stop being Devolver.
Yeah.
Right.
Like everybody
100%,
trusts
yeah.
Devolver because it's Devolver.
Yeah.
So it's one of those brands that it's
Which is
not
kind of a cool
worth
place.
buying.
Yeah.
Right. It's nice. I like that. I like them. I mean, like I've been involved with Devolver since their very first indie game, and they have stayed exactly. I ran into Nigel Lowry at GDC, and Nigel is exactly Nigel, same way he always was.
Is he pitching those
He's still
NFTs?
he's still goofball. Well, he's still taking the piss out of NFTs, that's for sure. Um,
I want to
but-
see if Devolver does a fucking conference this year, even though E3 is not going on.
They
I would
probably
love
will.
to see
I
them
mean,
do a conference
you
and then introduce
know,
just NFTs. Just the whole thing is NFT like centric.
Yeah.
I'd love.
you know, this is like a treat for them, right? Like
Oh,
E3
sure.
not happening, like they have the perfect opportunity to just do something that really sort of dances on the grave of the show. Like they're 100% going to go for it.
They'll probably kill
After
E3
that whole-
in their conference, I would think. That's you get. What is it? Is it Nina? Is that the character?
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll get Nina to like kill E3 or take over E3 or something. That'll be fun. Or yeah, maybe a funeral. Maybe they'll just do a funeral for E3.
Just
have,
like,
like,
a
Get like Reggie up
3-minute
there and
quiet.
Jack Tredden to like give eulogies. About
Oh my
E3.
god.
That would be incredible. That'd be so good if they could pull that off. I don't think those two would ever agree to that, but hey.
just
I
like
could
2
dream.
minutes of silence. That's it. It's just like nothing happens. They just stand there like very thoughtfully and quietly, and then just announce a whole bunch of video games.
Yeah. Be really good.
They'd 100% pull that.
I'm excited. I've hyped myself up for the unannounced Devolver E3 2022 event because of this silly conversation. What else was announced? Remedy has said they have entered into an agreement for a new Max Payne 1 and 2 project with Rockstar Games. So it looks like those are
Well,
being
Remedy making it.
remade.
That's the important part.
Yes, Remedy
Yeah.
is making it.
Remedy is making it.
Yep. They will be it'll be one standalone title developed for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC using the Northlight engine, which is what Control used. The budget has the same size as a typical Remedy AAA production. It's financed by Rockstar, and they are currently at the concept development stage. So a couple years.
That
for
is an
still.
interesting one, though. Like Rockstar financing it is an interesting one.
Yeah, I wonder how that worked out. And like, is Rockstar just like, we're making too much money? We just released Grand Theft
Just
Auto for the
really-
15th time, maybe is more accurate.
Right.
We can finance that game. It'll be fine. We'll do it.
I mean, I'm just happy Remedy is remaking more Remedy.
Yeah, they're getting all their classics. done
Yeah,
up and
Alan
prettied
Wake
up.
was good. Alan Wake 2
And we got
looks
2 on
good.
the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh,
Although
I
they're
can't
mixing
wait
it
for
up,
that
which
one.
is going to be fun. That's going to be cool. Like they're actually calling it like what is it? Survival horror. I
Yeah.
think is what they're doing with the new one.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
yeah, dude, that's going to be great.
Good stuff.
Control DLC was awesome. Like their last project there was fantastic.
Yep. Yeah.
I recommend it for those who haven't played it.
I hope we see more Control. I really do. I think that is a very interesting world.
I mean, I don't think we're done with Faden yet, so
Yeah.
hopefully more, right?
True.
Maybe Alan
Is there a
Wake 2?
term? Is there a term for the Alan Wake / Control like universe?
I don't know if there's like a dash verse of that Remedy verse, maybe. I don't know.
Remedy
Yeah, I
versus-
just for me it's just the Alan Wake.
I just licensed that
universe.
URL. Thank you, JP.
No problem. Put some NFTs up on it. It'll do really well. Yeah.
Well, I just recently played through Alan Wake like last year, like for the first time. Like I started the original many years ago, and I never finished it. So going back and finishing it up was really fun. It was really, but it was also very cool having played Control and remembering like, oh shit, they referenced a ton of stuff from
Yeah,
Alan Wake in
ton.
Control.
Oh.
And they foreshadow some stuff that Control has in it. That's
Right.
great. I love that.
Absolutely. It was really cool.
And people forget that there's a game in between those two, right? That does the same.
No,
just-
that never came out.
That
I
never
never-
came. I love that. I really like that game.
You were into Quantum Break?
I really liked Quantum Break.
I
I just really like.
never played it. I think played it and talked about it, and I was
did.
just like, I'm good. Like I
It was okay.
yeah, I don't
It's
think
all right.
It's like and Go is right. It's like a pretty mediocre like cover based shooter with like cool effects, but it's
Not
the
bad.
story kind of the story is kind of cool. And you can just tell that that game happened because some graphics programmer was sitting there and just had like a vertice exploder effect where like the triangles of a model start like shaking as well, like, yo,
This looks cool.
look at look at this. Look, I can make it go in a pulse.
Yep.
Like, look at that. They're like, yeah, okay, that's a video game now.
Then they ship
Like-
that video to Microsoft. They're like, we're gonna put that at E3.
Yep.
That's
100%
big
what happened.
project.
100%.
Yeah. I remember when that game was announced, and it was at that E3. It's like, damn, that looks really cool. And it came out. It was just kind of okay.
I like
Yeah.
what they were trying. Like that's what I like about Remedy though, is that they really want that mix between TV series and video game to kind of work out. And you can tell that that's what they're doing in Control. You can tell that that's what they're doing in Alan Wake. You can tell that that's what they're doing in Quantum Break. Like they really like that cadence of TV series. Like,
Yeah.
Here's an episode. Play the episode. At the end of the episode, go away. Come back later. They don't want you to play their games in one go. They want you to play Alan Wake until the credits song happens, and then get out, go outside, touch some grass, come back in, and then don't play Alan Wake immediately again. Go do something, have a life, and then come back.
That's the Remedy
Ouch.
formula.
Seems like they're trying
Yeah.
to alienate their customers.
That's what they're doing, which is really nice. Like they're just like straight up like, no, here's a credit sequence. Watch this. Here's 3 minutes of music, no video game.
It's
They just
actually
didn't
worth
ask you what
listening
it
to.
was.
Some of those are real jams.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved Alan Wake for that. Like I actually just played an episode a night. If you know me, you know that's not how I play video games. If I like a game, I play it start to finish in one go,
Yeah.
if I can.
We'll
But
see.
Alan Wake, nope,
We'll see what happens with it.
went outside.
Hell, I got freaking. I was going through my shirts, like redoing all my closet, and I pulled out a shirt that got lost during the move, and it's what is it? Old Gods of Asgard. It's the band from Alan Wake.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm already waiting to rock that on stream again.
Nice.
Oh man.
And then the other big news this morning, and I'm like, actually, I have real anxiety. I have not watched this trailer yet. I've not seen anything around it.
Oh.
Square Enix and Disney have announced the development of Kingdom Hearts 4.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see that in like 2030, probably. But it's out there. There's also, it was a mobile game, or what was the other thing that was announced alongside that? Did you watch it, Co, or did you see
Nope.
anything around?
I was told it existed about 70,000 times during my stream this morning,
Yeah.
but that's about it. Yeah.
What was the other thing that they, 2 mobile games were announced. Okay. Got it. Yeah,
I'm just suddenly
that's a thing.
sorry. I just need
So-
1 second. Go. The band was Old Gods of Asgard, right?
I want to say it's something. It's
Yeah.
Gods of some. Yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. They also did the song in Control.
Oh, to the fall.
The Astro.
Poets of the
The,
Fall
uh,
was the
the
band.
actor- That's the official name
That's
of the
the
band.
real-
But Old Gods of Asgard is what they're called in the game. I think
Yep.
that Old Gods of Asgard was also the band that did Take Control in Control, which is the Ashtray
I
Maze
think
song.
they did.
So,
Yep, you're correct.
It's dude. It's
Remedy.
all full circle, Rami. It's the Remedy verse coming together.
Remedy.
That's what it is.
.com.
Remedy verse right here.
Somebody in chat said they do have an official name for it, the Connected Remedy verse or something like that. Remedy
Okay.
Universe.
That's the worst
They're
name.
thinking about it. It is. It's pretty bad.
Connected Remedy verse. That sounds like an NFT.
I think Remiverse could have been kind of cool.
Remiverse. Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyways,
all the Remedy verse. Anyway, real quick before we continue,
Kingdom
JP,
Hearts.
is your hype level for Kingdom Hearts
Right.
higher or lower after 3?
look, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know, man.
Okay.
I'm not kidding. There's actual anxiety about watching that trailer. And I don't know why that, like, Kingdom Hearts 3 wasn't bad, but it wasn't Kingdom Hearts 2. And a lot of that is because of self-inflicted hype, if you want to
Fair.
call it that.
That's fair. Absolutely. I know what you mean.
But like, I don't know. Like, is Kingdom Hearts 4 just going to be like, here's the entirety of Encanto, and you're playing through that as Sora, and like, here's that Bruno song that's going to get you DMCA'd on Twitch. Like, I don't know. I haven't seen the trailer. I don't really have any, I don't have any thoughts on it because I don't know what it looks like. Apparently they like changed the look of Sora somewhat. It's on
He
UE5,
doesn't have
I
clown
guess.
shoes anymore.
Oh, are we gonna watch this trailer? Are we?
We
because
could.
you're hyping me up.
I haven't seen it yet. Let's watch it. Yeah, why
We
not?
could.
Let's do it.
This
Let's
will
do it.
get the VOD claimed, but I guess it doesn't matter really at this point.
This will get the VOD claimed.
It's 7 minutes.
Is there music
Wow.
in it that is?
It's Disney. Of
gonna
course
get
it's going to
claimed.
get the VOD claimed.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I also don't know if I can pipe you guys audio. You're going to have to tell me here if this, is this giving audio to you guys?
Yep.
Okay. Is that too loud? I haven't messed with these settings in a while.
Oh, maybe I'm just.
I can turn it down a little bit. It was loud for the stream too.
People are
Alright.
saying go to 4 minutes and 5 seconds.
Well, I mean, what did we just watch?
Let's
The
just
full
watch the whole thing.
7
We
minutes
can go back.
The whole thing. Oh
yeah.
boy.
What happens if we go here?
Graphics are a little bit different.
This is the
Oh, it's the
mobile
mobile
thing.
game. Oh, okay.
I'm not even. I'm producing real quick. Go to a different screen.
Yo, it's Star Fox.
All right, that was pretty good. Made this whole scene in 30 seconds. So this is all mobile shit. There's Gandalf. What the fuck?
Why not?
All this dialogue checks out. This is all Kingdom Hearts bullshit.
My favorite thing is that you could tell that they were skipping the video and the dialogue
Yeah,
because the curtains kept jumping. Like, why?
right. Okay, so that's the... Isn't Union already out, chat? So is this like an expansion of the mobile? Oh, the long-awaited finale. Okay. So it is just more.
Oh boy. NFTs.
Sorta.
光と闇から生まれた始まりは心によって育まれた
Thank you. I was gonna move you guys, but no,
命
we're
は
good.
脈々と受け継がれ
Wait,
時
Zeke.
が流れやがて世界となった大地は
You gotta
人
get
々の暮らしを作り上げた
Wait. It's not a mirror.
ここは光と
There you go. I got it now. Let's do it.
告げ物と継がざる夢と
And then we become something from
Let's go
Cats.
heart.
多層
the heart.
スカラアド
Oh
カ
wait,
エ
the
ル
heart.
You're a heart. Look at that.
こはやがてシュートが
Oh, this is a
結
mobile
社を
game.
組織した
Here, I can move this.
What were you expecting this was,
継がざ
JP?
る者の結
I
社
don't know
いくつ
anymore
もの
with
州は
fucking Kingdom Hearts.
都市を巡る血脈のようにこの世界に張り巡らされてい
You
る
guys are good. You can sit upright. That just looks like Kingdom Hearts combat on a phone. Kingdom Hearts 3 combat. That guy like collects just like the lore keeper. Oh, that's Tangled World. That's a new character. It's pretty fucked up. This music's actually doing things. For me, at least.
Music is so important.
But this game is the nostalgia, I guess, is so associated with that music for me.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
You got a new
Good
full outfit for the Kingdom Hearts 4 yet? Are you thinking about it?
Look, cosplay is a journey. Okay, you got to start fresh every single one. So
I know, but is there any like what ideas are flying around your head?
I'd like to
they're
get an
talking to you,
Organization
JP.
13 jacket. Those are nice.
They're saying if you didn't like the ending, leave this world for another. I think they're talking to the Kingdom Hearts 3 players.
Oh, so this is the end. Okay. Yeah, it looks pretty. I almost bought that chess set for like $300, by the way. They had put out
It makes
official.
you happy, man, dude. Do it.
I didn't buy it. I'm saying I almost did. I was like, I shouldn't do this.
Remind me after this. I had a moment of I bought something. I mean, it's ridiculous. It makes me very happy.
Are they like lightning Sora? Oh, this was DLC? Okay, I didn't play the DLC because I was so whatever from the main game.
Kingdom Hearts have advertising in it like some Japanese games do. That's Disney.
I can't hear. I heard, does it have advertising in it, but I didn't hear the rest. One sec. Oh, that's pretty much what Kingdom Hearts 3 did in its trailer. Man.
Wow. They're really reusing the Final Fantasy VII Remake stuff here, huh?
Yeah. Oh, more organization people. Cool logo. Oh shit. The most powerful wizard in Final Fantasy, guys. There he is.
Oh my god, I've never heard
Oh
of
God.
Japanese.
Uh-oh. Was that supposed to be Hades? Is there an English version of this trailer? Is that James Woods? Huh.
Okay.
Oh, there is an English trailer? Is it James Wood in the English trailer?
I think this is the English trailer, is what people are saying.
Oh, this is the English version. Later there will be another trailer.
Wait a second, that wasn't English.
You sure? You all sound foreign to me.
Yeah, I that looked like Kingdom Hearts to me.
Did it?
In the gameplay sense, and also in just the absurdity.
Devil
that
May
is-
Hearts.
Yeah, that is Nomura's brain that looked like Kingdom Hearts to me.
One sec.
I like Kingdom Hearts. I don't love Kingdom Hearts, but I will say I felt very little at that trailer except for the music.
Right.
Well, actually, for the mobile game, it was the music. For that last thing, I actually felt nothing. I was just watching it. I'm like, yeah, okay. those are 3D assets,
Right.
and they're animated well.
Yes. Chad said the DLC looked very similar. And I've never
Right.
played that, so that might get that might change maybe sooner than later. Um, yeah, I mean, my brain starts to wonder, like, well, if they're doing a Kingdom Hearts 4, Disney owns a lot of IP now. They could do some interesting things there, but most likely we're going to get a lot of Encanto, a lot of not the IPs that you want, aka Marvel and Star Wars.
I was about to say, you're just waiting here for Sora to go head to head with like
Yeah, give me
Iron Man or
you
something.
know, like put Sora and Iron Man together. That'd
Yeah,
be pretty
exactly.
fucking sick. Like I'd check that out. Make a lot of sense. Or where's Mandalorian? You know, give me some Pedro Pascal there. Get him. Yeah.
You know what? I would play it. I would play it. I don't think I would love it, but I would play it.
Chat saying there's something that looks like
I'm not gonna like it, but I'll play it.
there's an AT-AT apparently in the trailer, the foot of an AT-AT from Star Wars.
Oh, really?
So that would be kind of cool. Yeah, I have to. I think I have to like temper. I think with Kingdom Hearts 3, that was like. I can relate it to a lot of the audience. Kingdom Hearts 3 was what Cyberpunk was for you guys, except I didn't have the like Cyberpunk experience. I had a decent experience that still didn't live up to the hype because there's no way anything's going to live up to that hype. So yeah, Zeke, you were asking about advertising, or what was it?
Oh yeah. I was just wondering if Kingdom Hearts has advertising in it besides Disney, like other Japanese games do. You know, like Boss Coffee or stuff like that.
No, I don't think they usually don't. No, that was the
They
first
don't?
time that like he's been in the quote realer looking world.
Kingdom Hearts 3, though, I mean, it definitely took it to the next level. I mean, they had like their big super moves were called attractions,
Yeah,
and they were essentially the main character like riding rides from Disney World. Honestly,
Yeah.
like it was a huge turnoff. Like it felt like in a lot of ways that every time you did a super move in this video game, it was basically a commercial.
Yeah.
It was pretty terrible.
and they were just broken. They like they broke the game,
And they made them incredible. Yeah, exactly. They made them so strong that it's like,
yes.
and I guarantee you that there was a design meeting where it's like, yeah, we need to make these really strong so the player wants to do them all the time because we want them to see that as much as possible. Like it was just, yeah, not cool. It was not cool.
Yeah.
I didn't dig it.
Did you play the DLC for that code? The Remind DLC?
I'm pretty sure I was kind of like you. Like I honestly, and this is one of the reasons I actually asked you that question. I was very turned off by KH3 as a whole.
Yeah.
Like, some of the levels were cool, but like I remember leaving KH3 and being like, you know what? I could not play a Kingdom Hearts again and be okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm all right. I'm all right. Like I'm like, you know, with Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, like it was actually a pretty enjoyable experience. Like there were some cool reveals and things like that. And it was kind of fun. And I never really felt like it was super commercial, even though it was obviously super commercial. But then when 3 came along, I was like, okay, it's becoming more overt. Like the game, I feel like it's actually making the game suffer a bit. Like, and the KH3 story is also just a little bit. It's not nearly as interesting as the other two.
Yeah. It had its like
So.
big payoff or a couple of big payoff moments that were, if you had played like every single game, the 7 or 8 games up to that point, they were cool for sure. But the story didn't necessarily go where I think a lot of people, it didn't have the same effect. And that might just be because, hey, we got older and maybe Kingdom Hearts 2 had that effect because we were younger. There's a bunch of stuff you could look at it and decipher it that way. But
I think
yeah,
Valve was watching and just going like, "Yep, never doing Half-Life 3."
totally. Yeah. I mean, Kingdom Hearts 3 was of that scale,
Right.
for a ton of people, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Very
At
few
some point,
games
you
have reached that.
Yeah. At some point, you just can't compete with people's hopes anymore. Which
Yeah.
is kind of a Kingdom Hearts conclusion, honestly, when you think about it. Like,
Yeah.
I thought it was very brave that they made it.
The
Like, I
Kingdom
really
Hearts 3
respect
got made.
Yeah. That they. I mean, they kind of. It was clear that was sort of an intent, but you could also just not.
Chad is bringing up a really
But-
good point. Honestly, they kind of did it with Remake, 7 Remake. I think in a lot of ways that lived up. Not only lived up to it, but I feel like it exceeded that level of hype that people were expecting from a product. I know it did for me.
Oh, I
Um,
mean, Elden Ring, I think, enters into this conversation immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it did a great job as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, I
Please don't make
like
me talk about the UI,
and how perfect it is.
please. Please. Let's talk about cats. Let's talk about
4 or 5, something
That's
like that.
that's the secret of those
Rami,
games.
Rami, you mean how
UI's
all
always been
feedback
bad.
on Elden Ring UI is just from haters? Isn't that's what I heard? I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Don't let them
Hey,
do
my
this,
Twitter.
Rami. Don't let them
Twitter.
invalidate your opinion.
my Twitter. I'm enjoying Elden Ring, by the way. Like, this is like a weird rumor that sort of spread around the internet that I
You
don't
hated
like
it?
Elden Ring.
That's how it
I'm
happens.
just like, I'm enjoying the game. It's just the UI UX is like, you know what? I'm gonna stop this thought right here.
Okay.
Yeah, but Kingdom Hearts 3 was brave. Final Fantasy 7 Remake was brave, but it was also easy money. But taking on that project and doing with it what they did was cool. I'm just really worried for 7 Remake 2.
Yeah. Yep. 100% correct.
Like,
It's just it's a depart like they had the framework for 7 Remake. They have somewhat of the framework for Remake 2, but the end of Remake 1 makes that framework a little twisted and warped, and they could,
Oh, okay.
who knows what they could do.
Yeah.
Which could be exciting, right? Like that there's an excitement level associated with that, but there's also a little bit of a fear associated with that. I think the ending of that game is pretty divisive,
right.
as well, with where they went with it. So
I'm optimistic. I
Yeah.
think
It was
I
a
think
good
they're gonna
final
do the
boss
same.
fight.
I think they're going to do the same thing they did with the first one. Honestly, we're a little bit on a tangent here, but just just throwing it out. I
Yeah.
think they're going to do like 95% remake and then like 5% new. And I wouldn't be surprised if they just carry that all the way through the 3 things, like through the 3, and just kind of have it, like
Yeah.
we'll probably because they want to recreate the iconic feeling of like Golden Saucer and all the different locations and stuff. So we're all going to go there. They're probably going to want it to be mostly the same, but they'll probably just make a big deal of the little things they change and kind of make that the overarching new stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, they did it great in the first one. So we should maybe give them the benefit of the doubt and be like, keep an
But,
open mind.
Yeah.
Right. A tempered benefit of doubt is, I think, where we
Yeah.
need to be. Because 7 Remake was super hype. Like, it was really, really good. And I was so excited for it. And it somehow exceeded how excited I was for it. I just don't want to bring that same energy to this one because I have all that excitement from the first one with me. I'm going to overhype if I do that. So,
Yeah.
man, you got to
That's
manage
totally
a lot
fair.
of emotions to be a gamer.
We do this to ourselves, man.
Are-
It's
are we-
all.
Are we sure this is smart?
Yeah.
Well,
It's a
I
lot.
think it helps when I make a conscious choice. Like if something I'm super excited about, if before I start the game, I make the conscious choice, like to tell myself to make it a note, like a mental note of, don't like go into this with any over expectations. Like
Yeah.
just saying it or just thinking it before you actually start playing it. It does help a little bit.
I think even before, like, reason I didn't want to watch that Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer for so long is because I had to actually prep my brain to be like, don't get fucking crazy about this. Don't be crazy about this. It's just a trailer. This is a Disney Square game. You're not gonna see it for 8 years. It's gonna change to UE6 before it comes out, probably. Yeah. So there's I think that's just getting older as a gamer. You got to manage those expectations. I know we're a little bit over for a break. I do want to mention this DMCA stuff from Twitch. There were some updates regarding how they're doing their communication. I don't know if you guys have gotten any emails regarding this, but I actually got my first email from Twitch about DMCA claims or DMCA content on the channel from music that I thought was safe, and I guess it's not, that I used in my intro. Yeah, a bunch of, I think my stuff was Monster Cat related, Co, was that similar to you?
Mine was actually Cyberpunk.
Oh,
I use a Cyberpunk tune called Rebel Path when I'm doing my intros, and it was flagging that as erroneous, which is weird because I don't get the same hit on YouTube
yeah.
using the same thing, so that's a little bit strange. I think they're just being over. I think they're starting over cautious.
Right.
Maybe we'll have to walk it back. Now for Monster Cat, interestingly enough, you probably have to go to the Monster Cat website because I had to do this with my YouTube. You have to connect your Twitch account so they know that your account is good to not get flagged for that stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I had to do that with my new YouTube channel as well. So like you just have to, that should rectify all of that.
Because I've had that quote unquote like creator license for years at this point. It's never been renewed. But it's really cool that that's, that is finally out there to start seeing that type of stuff. It also is unpublishing VODs by default now, I think is the process. And you have to go and make it so it does not automatically unpublish your VODs, which is kind of a different thing.
Interestingly enough, now we don't know. Here's what gets weird though.
Okay.
Because we don't know if unpublished VODs are safe.
Right.
So because they made it clear that, putting stuff behind paywalls and stuff had no bearing on that. So, I mean, one could assume like, is an unpublished VOD safe? If it is safe, if a VOD not being published is actually a safe thing, then this also is interesting from a legal perspective because now Twitch can be like, no, we unpublished that. They went in and manually published it. You know what I mean? So that even more puts the onus of the DMCA stuff on the creator. Not that it wasn't there already, and we haven't seen any issues with that on Twitch's side, but it is. I will say it's a good step from Twitch, and it definitely is the kind of thing where it's going to put a lot more thought into creators in how they deal with that.
Yep.
That's good. That's good. This is the kind of system that we should have had like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
but hey, better late than never. Absolutely, and credit where it's due.
Did they? It's. I think it might be a problem, and I think I'm okay saying more strongly. I think it is a problem that all of the news comes from Zach Busey's Twitter, because like I'm trying to find the actual Twitter account / Twitch that talked about this stuff, and I don't.
He normally quotes either Twitch directly or emails partners are receiving.
Right.
Most of the time.
It's just. I guess I would expect the social media presence that all these articles are quoting to be a official Twitch account and not Zach's tweet about official news.
We need another DJ Wheat. We need a DJ Wheat that's more plugged into distributing information.
Yes. Yeah.
Like we need a face that we can go to and know like when all new Twitch stuff comes out.
Yeah, and I mean that comes with its own set of problems in terms of harassment and all that stuff. But you're right. We need something along those lines, whatever that is. An account that's for creators or something like that. Or
one thing to check: they have gotten a lot better about updating the little notifications thing in your dashboard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like right here, I click that. The second thing is introducing copyright audio warnings for your VODs, and then there's a whole learn more to the article.
Okay. Yeah.
So they have gotten a lot better about updating that recently.
I wonder if like pop-up blockers are. Oh no. Okay. Yeah. So you're seeing that in your notifications on the dashboard.
So if you go to your dashboard, there's up at the top right. There's a little creator and update star to the left of the whispers and the notifications.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they've actually gotten a lot better about updating
Cool.
that. So if you ever see that green, and this goes for any caster on Twitch, just click up there. They're basically using that as a way to disseminate information and news updates to partners and affiliates. So
Gotcha.
They used to not use it too much, but they've, like I said, they've gotten a lot better about it recently.
Yeah. Okay. I'll keep an eye on that then instead of going by Zach's Twitter.
That's what it's for.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Cool. And then we talked about announcements last week from that. Any other news you guys saw want to bring up before we jump to a quick break? Rami?
Well, then I can.
I'm trying to think, but
It's slow.
I'll take that break.
Yeah. It's slow. It's I would say pre whatever announcement time is. I have to stop saying E3. I'm trying to remove that from my.
You've got like
brain.
2 months of nothing.
Yeah, it's going to be some smaller, hopefully, knock on wood, slower times. There was we didn't mention in the news the unionization that occurred at Blizzard, which was a pretty big win for them. Apart from the fact that if there was what was the big stipulation around that, Rami? Do you know where? I'm blanking on it. Where like part of the silver lining or the not silver lining, whatever the opposite of silver lining is, the shitty part.
You
The poop
You
line.
mean with the Raven?
Yes, where the Raven QA were not able
Yeah.
to partake.
How about we talk about that after the break then?
Okay.
Because I
all
have
right.
lots of angry opinions about it.
Sure. Yeah.
Hooray!
We'll mention that after the break. So don't go anywhere. More drop frames and angry Rami steps into the arena after
Ooh,
this.
exciting.
Yeah, now we're hyping it up.
Look at that face.
That's angry.
Oh, he's
Rami
so
right
angry.
there.
That's
He's
angry.
So pissed off.
It's
Unbelievable.
evil Rami with the beard now
TSA
too.
is
So
just
it's
really
evil angry
angry.
Rami.
Just thinking about my broken Steam Deck.
More on that
Nailed and
after
nailed
the
and
break.
lie.
We'll see you with more drop frames right after this.